our lead this hour is also part of Lame Jokes. It's a bit of a pop culture story mixed in a giant enigma. So an NBA team took some shrapnel from the airline industry. Let me try to explain this to you. I'm going to give you the thumbnail version of events. So there's this airline called Southwest Airlines. They've been around for a while. And they decided they wanted to screw over their customer base. And so how could you screw over your customer base? Why don't we change our bag policy? And you know what? We've always had free bags, and that's kind of our thing. And so let's end that. And we'll only give it to preferred A-list customers or people that have our little credit card, and you'll get the free bags. Previously, anybody who bought a ticket got 2 free checked bags. And that was a good deal. That was a perk. That was what made them special. So they changed it, and they're getting absolutely cooked. In an effort to try to deflect away some of the negativity, they decided to use some comedy. People very upset. Majority of the customers are not happy, as you would imagine. And so the airline decided to, somebody in their social media wing, which is probably like some high school kid or something, I don't know. But some young punk that said, let's take a shot at the Dallas Mavericks and their decision to trade Luka Doncic. They did this on social media. They sent out the following zinger from the official Southwest Airlines account, a multi-billion-dollar airline. They said, it's not like we traded Luka. We've made updates to our bag policy, and you're still going to love flying with us. What hasn't changed, they say, are our Southwest hospitality, and you all know and love that. They said, all right, so let us discuss. Toss-up question. You make the call. Worst move, the Mavericks giving away Luka Doncic or Southwest Airlines charging for bags? Worst move. All right, so I have Tom Petty, Sharpie, and CYA. Not CIA, CYA. We'll combine all these things together, and we are going to make a giant headache, which if you fly Southwest Airlines regularly, you likely know about the whole headache thing. So first of all, this is not even close. Now, the Luka Doncic trade was basketball malpractice, right? It wasn't a trade. It was a giveaway. That was strategic incompetence. It was malfeasance is what it was by the Dallas basketball team. It was so terrible that it makes you think there's some kind of cabal, deep state conspiracy involving the league office, Adam Silver, big television deals in a smoke-filled room. It's that bad. That said, side by side, the Luka trade versus Southwest Airlines deciding to charge for bags, the arrow is clearly pointing right there at Southwest Airlines. Because, you see, not everyone watches basketball. Not everyone loves sports. They don't have the sports gene like we have. But pretty much every man, woman, and even child at some point has to travel to see relatives or you're going on vacation. So this is a self-inflicted wound. And it reminds me of how tone deaf you can be. And it also channeled, there's this Tom Petty song from back in the day called The Last DJ Song. It was actually supposedly a tribute song to this great DJ Jim Ladd, who was an L.A. DJ, a legend on the L.A. radio dial. And so Tom Petty was a radio listener, and he wrote this song. They're all gone now. But The Last DJ, and it was about the crap that was going on in the radio business. And one of the lines in there really resonated as a lifetime radio nerd. And it was that all the boys upstairs want to see is how much you'll pay for what you used to get for free. And as a general rule in business, if you charge the customer for something that was once free, people will no longer use the product. That's just a general rule. Like, I'll give you an example. I used to be a daily reader of the New York Post. I used to read the New York Post every day. They now have a paywall. I stopped reading it. I don't read it because it was free and now they're charged. So good luck. I hope other people pay for it. I ain't paying for it. I'll go find the content somewhere else. If you charge people for something that was once free, people stop using it. It's the most basic rule of business. And the Mavericks, obviously people are upset. They're going to lose fans, and there'll be other basketball players that come along, and there'll be some good ones and some bad ones and all that. But not everyone likes basketball. The reason that so many people fly Southwest Airlines was because, hey, it's not the greatest airline. The planes aren't the newest, but you get the free bags. Save some bucks. It's not like the ticket prices are all that much lower, or they're even any lower at all. They're very competitive, the airline prices. And so my experience flying around is that many of the other airlines have better planes. And if you're going to be paying the same amount, why would you fly with Southwest? All right, now, secondly, to Philadelphia we go, the city of bad basketball and good football. So after the season here, circling the drain this season, the pro bouncy ball team in Philadelphia, we're now hearing the 76ers will be looking to trade Paul George, by George, this offseason. So what are the odds? First look, what are the odds that the Philadelphia basketball team is able to find a partner for the ex-Clipper Paul George? So I have the Maller Sportsbook odds at plus 700. Now that implies, if you're bad with math, that implies a little over 12% chance, about 12.5% chance they find a trade partner. Here's why. Paul George, at this point, is a brand ambassador for Sharpie, okay? He's got so many black marks near his name. He is a shell of what he had been in his salad days. He's consulting doctors right now on options. He's got a groin injury and a knee injury. Surgery on both is possible. Paul George also has $160 million left on his contract, which wouldn't be a problem if he was still good. Spoiler alert, he sucks. He's past his use-by date. He's under contract till he's age 37. Now, he does have a player option. The way he's playing, there is no way he doesn't play that player option because no one else is going to give him that kind of money. And he seems to be more worried about his fledgling podcast than his jump shot. And so the way this would work, now, so all of that, how is the Philadelphia basketball team going to be able to trade Paul George? The greater fool theory. The greater fool theory. So players are traded from one fool, that would be the original team, to a greater fool at an increased price until eventually the jig is up. You cannot find a greater fool. The value plummets. And then that's it. And so that's where we are. Are we at the end of the greater fool theory? How lucky are the Golden State Warriors? I watched a little bit of the Warriors game against Sacramento last night, and Golden State was all horny to get Paul George. They wanted Paul George. The Clippers would not trade Paul George to Golden State, which in hindsight they should have done because he sucks, and you could have completely screwed Golden State. So bad job by the Clips. They could have done a sign and trade and dropped that albatross in the Bay Area. But nonetheless, good luck, Paul George. Philadelphia, they've got some other things. My final thought here, the 76ers team president, Daryl Morey, who somehow kept his job when he was involved in the whole great China, Hong Kong situation, remember, years ago, and that was quite the glorious NBA story. But anyway, so 76ers team president Daryl Morey. Does anyone get more love from basketball writers than Daryl Morey? I mean, these guys they give him a tongue bath. They give Daryl Morey a tongue bath. The nerdy basketball writer loves Daryl Morey. So Daryl Morey said he absolutely gives AI and large language models a vote in all of his decision-making processes with the 76ers. He said something called, he said this to the Pablo Torre podcast. I have no idea who that is or what that is. He said, we absolutely use models as a vote in any decision, Morey said, regarding like draft picks and roster moves. So, question, what is your reaction to longtime NBA executive Daryl Morey revealing the 76ers use artificial intelligence on team decisions, that they get a vote in team decisions? So my initial thought is, wowzers. It's one thing to Google something, right? But to weigh that in the process, say it's like you've got 5 people voting, 4 human beings, and then you've got AI. So that means AI, conceivably, if it's a deadlock, 2-2, human being, then you've got AI deciding what you're going to do. Yikes. Now, I will tell you, this is not a good endorsement of artificial intelligence. Daryl Morey, with AI, has assembled an overpriced honey wagon of a team. If you don't know what a honey wagon is, bad job by you. It's unwatchable dreck is what it is. And again, basketball scribes, they have, Daryl Morey has them eating out of the palm of his hand. I don't know how to say it. Now, my theory is that one of the main reasons Daryl Morey uses the artificial intelligence is because of CYA. Not CIA, CYA, ergo, cover your ass. It's job security. You can look out for the best interest of yourself, meaning you pass the blame. And I work in the radio world, and in my world, I don't know if so much anymore, but they used to have these things called consultants. And consultants were a way for the people that were programming the radio station to keep their job, because if they made a decision to make a change and then the change didn't work out, they could say, well, it wasn't my decision. I just listened to the consultant, so it's their fault. It's passing the buck is what it is. You're passing the buck to somebody else. But if AI, not Allen Iverson, but if artificial intelligence gets a vote, Daryl Morey sounds like he's on the cutting edge, way to go, and all that. But it gives him plausible deniability. And you always want to have that plausible deniability. Wasn't me, it was the AI, it's the algorithm, that's the problem, and you got to have someone to blame, and that's the deal, and et cetera, et cetera.